My work is about the tension between nature and mankind. To show this, I make large acrylic paintings and charcoal drawings to depict these two forces fighting against each other in hopes to find balance in a shared space.
My art at this time focuses on relationships, whether they be romantic with an individual, with family, friends. Right now, I'm focusing on primarily our relationships, our own bodies, and whether they be male or female. And I've been doing that by using different mediums such as etching, plaster casting, painting, and sculpture.
Growing up near the beach, I've always had a strong connection to the ocean. My work examines a view of ocean life that emphasizes light and color. I capture digital photographs of beach landscapes as well as develop oil paintings of waves and underwater ocean life. I paint fairly quickly with thick brush strokes, working into wet paint. After applying thick paint across the canvas, I go back in to develop a greater contrast in color. Those bright yellows, oranges, reds, the kind only a perfect sunset has to reflect onto the ocean water are what I develop into my paintings, giving it that warmth and glowing sense.
Personal identity is a major theme throughout all my work. My oil paintings and ink drawings illustrate specific narratives in my life that reflect the topic of what it means to be an adult and all the emotions associated with it. I use the figure of a doll to create a speculative dialogue of innocence and corruption. My ink drawings reflect the different ways which I view my mom by exploring her personal identity, what it means for her to be an immigrant in the U.S., and how that reflects on me. The drawings illustrate moments of her vulnerability as well as her strength and pride.
My work examines trauma and its effects. Currently I'm working with ivory soap and nails as a way to express the survivor's guilt sometimes experienced by victims of trauma.
My paintings focus on the sensual qualities of food. From preparation to consumption, there are many vivid sensory experiences accompanying food, and my work attempts to capture these experiences. Each painting is a focused study of a food item that is formally reduced to fit into a perfect circle. Using this formula, I feel that I am able to capture a kind of essence expressed within each subject. I display the paintings in groups relative to their food categories to create a focused engagement with the work.
My work transforms everyday landscapes into an enchanted realm. I am inspired by the history of how humans have explored their relationship with nature. This world is seen through an altered state of consciousness and depicted with mixed media, collage, and painting. Each piece references shamanism, Native American stories, hallucinations, and high points of anxiety to create a scene of magical realism. Together, the differences in style aim on focusing a transformative moment of the spirituality in nature.
My work depicts a fantastical exaggeration of evolution. I do this by illustrating a rat transforming into flowers for camouflage, or for a stag transforming into a rifle for a defense mechanism. I reference zoological and anatomical journals and reference books in order to recreate the look and feel of a scientific and factual representation.
The medium of photography presented me with the opportunity to explore and document the impact that Hurricane Sandy had on the New Jersey coast. Beginning in Point Pleasant and ending in Seaside Heights, I photographed once familiar places from my childhood. These photographs are a continuous process. As familiar spaces continue to change, my photographs are becoming more fragmented, and I depict the ways in which I have resisted the transformation and rebirth of the shore.
My artwork, it mainly involves making black silhouettes out of just black paper and then forming it in a scene, a dramatic scene that expresses a sort of disconnect with society and self-esteem.
My work deals with a combination of humor and animals. I enjoy taking animals and creating them on a computer and putting them in humorous situations that animals normally couldn't do. So for instance, having a cat walk around on the side of the road or yell at you or start cursing. I mainly focus in two-dimensional animations and Adobe Photoshop paintings.
My work focuses on the ideas of family and memory. By taking a childhood photograph and revisiting it with elements such as paint and embroidery thread, I create new textures and patterns on the surface of the photograph, as well as mimicking the process of remembering and exploring how time can alter childhood memories. Alright, my work addresses the complicated relationship between humans and nature and the disconnectedness we often feel when left without the comforting guidance of civilization. In my photos, I frame out most traces of human activity, leaving the viewer isolated in nondescript and often unwelcoming locations. As an environmentalist, I am guided by the constant reminder that nature is much more powerful and sublime than human constructs and will continue to endure long after human existence. I use a large format camera to capture the finer details and textures and am drawn to traditional film processes.